BoogeyMan band coming round the bend. Is BoogeyMan band? Is BoogeyMan band?
Greetings, fellow Fright Fiends. Thanks so much for stopping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. I want to wish everyone a very happy new year. This is going to be my final video of 2025, a year that has been trying to say the least. It started on a shitty note and really didn't let up for 12 months. It has been a rough year, and I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. I am so glad that this year is over. Nothing has felt normal this year, and I'm really optimistic about 2026, and I hope everyone has a prosperous 2026. I always try to sort of lean towards the positive, even if it can be difficult. So like I said, I just want everyone to have a very happy and safe new year, and I wish everyone the best in the coming year. Now, as typical with this channel, I always do an end of year ranking of my favorite horror films. So number 10 for me is going to be the newest Silent Night, Deadly Night. Now, that was the last spooky screenings I did. I took my niece to see it back on the 13th of this month. I thought that it'd be fun for her and I to go see this together. I was really surprised by it, about how much fun it was. I think Mike P. Nelson did a great job directing it. I thought Rowan Campbell was amazing in it. No, I've already done a review on it, so I'm not going to go into some of the same beats I did in that video, because that was just a couple weeks ago. But I had a fun time with this film. It's probably, I'd say it's in my top 3 of the Silent Night, Deadly Night films. I really like Silent Night, the one that Stephen C. Miller did in 2012. And I love Silent Night, Deadly Night too. I don't know why. It's stupid, I know. But that movie makes me smile. I love the character of Ricky because he's so over the top and bad. And it's so much fun watching that film. So I just get a guilty pleasure out of it. But yeah, this film was a lot of fun. I wish it would have been marketed better, because I think it could have done some, Terrifier numbers if they would have marketed it better. But yeah, I had a fun time with it, and I can't wait to add it to my collection. Now, number 9 for me is the only one in my top 10 that I didn't do a spooky screenings on. I watched it on September 30th. I saw that it was on Shudder, and I had heard great things about it, and Dangerous Animals was an amazing film. I'm kind of a passive fan of Jai Courtney. I love him as Captain Boomerang in Suicide Squad and the second Suicide Squad movie. They didn't really utilize him very much, but he was okay in A Good Day to Die Hard. In this one, I just thought this was a really, really solid movie, and he did a fantastic job. There's this eccentric boat captain named Tucker who has this shark cage attraction, and what he does is he's this serial killer that feeds people to sharks. Kind of meets his match when he stalks the character of Zephyr, played by, I think it's Hassie Harrison, because he sort of profiles these people that he goes after. And I don't want to give too much more away, because this movie really, really shocked me. And I had heard good things from people that have always been kind of critical. Some of the critics that I listen to once in a while that have been critical of Jai Courtney's work in the past, and just said that he's really good in this, and I have to agree. This movie was great. The shark effects are great in it. Really, really scary moments, disturbing moments, and I can't wait to own it eventually. I hope that you can purchase this one. I haven't looked into if you can purchase this one on Blu-ray. But yeah, it's on Shudder. If you have Shudder, I definitely recommend people checking it out. Number 8 for me is going to be the newest I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, I know people have shit on this movie since it came out back on the 18th of July. I went and saw it opening day with my wife, and it wasn't great. It wasn't a movie that I think is gonna, in any way compete with the Scream films or anything like that. But for someone who grew up and was enjoying the I Know What You Did Last Summer, particularly the first two, I'll always Know What You Did Last Summer. I only saw once, and I just never had a desire to revisit that one. But the first two films, they're campy and silly, but they're fun. I always think the first one is truly the best. But I had fun with this one. It's like, it was nice to see Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. come back. While I wasn't crazy about the way that they executed the reveal of who the fishermen were, I thought it was pretty ballsy to go that route. Yes, there was some moments in it that were very stupid. There was some scenes in it that I was just like going, why did they need to tack this on? And there's kind of a mid-credits thing that I was like, is that really necessary? But I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I didn't like everything about it, but yeah, it's one that I eventually will add to my collection. So number 7 for me is going to be Osgood Perkins' The Monkey, another Stephen King adaptation from the Skeleton Crew. I had so much fun with this movie. I went and saw it by myself back on March 19th. I love Osgood Perkins. I love that it was done in a very dark humor way, and that was something that Oz talked about. He said that he had to do it that way just because of how, death is inevitable. And as he's grown older, he just looks at it in almost a humorous kind of way. I thought that Theo James and Christian Convery both did tremendously as playing the older and younger versions of Bill and Hal, the twin brothers. Absolutely fantastic. Number 6 for me is going to be Final Destination Bloodline. It was Final Destination film. In fact, it took 14 years for us to get a new Final Destination film. The last one came out in 2011. I think Final Destination 5 was a perfect cap if they were going to do 5 movies. I think Final Destination 5 wrapped everything up perfectly because it went full circle. But I was happy that they made another one. And based on the box office and critical reception and audience reactions to it, I'm sure we're going to get a 7th one very, very soon. And unfortunately for all of us lovers of this series, this horror film series, the one thing that we'll be missing from that 7th film whenever it drops will be the character of William Bloodworth, played by the late, great Tony Todd. If you can say anything about Final Destination Bloodlines, is that it was a beautiful send-off for that horror icon, that amazing actor, somebody I am so saddened I never got to talk to or meet. He was a big part of me growing up to become a horror fan. Candyman is still one of the scariest movies in my opinion, and he is so charismatic and terrifying at the same time in that role as Daniel Robitaille. I adored the man, and I always felt like Final Destination 3 and 4 suffered greatly because he wasn't in it. I know he was the voice of the devil for the roller coaster in the 3rd film, but you need Bloodworth. It was sort of cool that he was in the first 2 films, and then they brought him back for Final Destination 5, and then he was going to be in this one. But yeah, I thought that was a beautiful send-off that was in this one. Of course, he's not in the movie very much, but when he is, even in the state he was in, he was magnetic and amazing, and I may he rest in peace. I miss Tony Todd every day. He was amazing, amazing, amazing actor. As for the rest of the cast, I wasn't that crazy about the main protagonist in Stephanie Ray's character. I mean, she was okay. The character that I really loved in this film, the character of Eric, played by Richard Harmon, he was amazing. I loved him in this film. So natural, so just every line that came out of him, he was just incredible. And I loved the idea of this film that everything was tied to this event that was prevented. That was in that high-rise Skyview restaurant that looked like the Space Needle in Seattle. That opening of what could happen, I think, is absolutely incredible. And I love that it all ties to like what caused the accident and sort of how that goes completely full circle by the end of the film. Yeah, it was a blast seeing it. Went and saw it opening week, saw it on the 15th of May. Yeah, it's one of my favorites of the Final Destination franchise. It still can't touch the original or part 2, which is still my favorite, but I really like this one a lot. And I'm curious to see where they're going to go when the 7th film is eventually announced. Number 5 for me. Now, I guess you could categorize this as a horror film, but it's more of a drama. But the subject matter and the dystopian world that it takes place is very horrific for me. So number 5 for me is going to be The Long Walk. And this movie just broke my heart. It is not a fun film to watch. And I went and saw this film by myself back on the weekend that it opened. I saw it on the 14th of September. And even though I've only seen it the one time, it has stayed with me 3 months later. I think that everybody in the cast did a great job. David Johnson, Cooper Hoffman, Mark Hamill. I think JT Molnar did a terrific job doing the adaptation. I also think Francis Lawrence did a terrific job of directing the film, having the experience he had with the Hunger Games films as well as I Am Legend. This movie is very bleak. It's not a fun film to watch. You really do bond with quite a few of these young men that are, this is pretty much, it's a suicide walk, and only one can win. And like I said, when people start dropping, and some of them are people that you hate in the film, but then you grow to understand why they are the way they are. It gets you. And there was several moments in this film that I was very emotional. And I also have to say, Judy Greer, for the small amount of time that she is on screen, I think this is one of her best performances. It just really got me. So yeah, I can't recommend this film enough. I will pick it up. It's not going to be one that I have a stressful day at work and decide to throw the movie on just to relax, but it is one I want to revisit. It was great to see these amazing filmmakers take on other Stephen King stories and adapt them for the big screen, because they all did a tremendous job. Number 4 for me is going to be Weapons, Zach Krieger's follow-up to Barbarian. One of my favorite films of all time. I love Barbarian so much. And I didn't know what to make of Weapons. I didn't see it until almost a month after it had been out. I saw it on August 31st. It was a movie that came out when I went to Crystal Lake Nightmares, so I didn't get to see it opening weekend, and I had so many people telling me, you got to see this movie, you got to see this movie. I heard different things about it. I heard some people say, well, it's not really a horror film. A lot of people compared it to Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia, because it's like all these interconnecting stories. I was just stunned by this film. And I bought it as soon as it came out on digital. I still need to buy it on Blu-ray. But I bought it, I believe it came out on digital, I think it came out on the 12th of September. So it was literally less than 2 weeks after I saw it in the theater. And rewatching it, I fell in love with this movie. I think Weapons is fantastic. I love how it breaks down what's going on with each central character, and I think that the entire cast is just so brilliant, from Julia Garner to Josh Brolin, who I'm not a huge fan of. I've never been a big fan of that guy, and this movie just completely changed my opinion of him. I think he was brilliant in this film. But you also have actors like Toby Huss, Alden Ehrenreich, Austin Abrams, Benedict Wong, and then not enough can be said about how amazing Amy Madigan is as Gladys. My God. I've always enjoyed Amy Madigan in movies. I loved her in The Dark Half. Of course, she was in Uncle Buck, Field of Dreams. But also recently, she's been doing a lot of genre stuff. She was in Penny Dreadful, City of Angels. She was in Antlers, which is, I think, a very underrated film. And then seeing her in this, and this character that it's iconic, and I'm waiting for the Gladys pop figure to come out. That's how iconic I think this character is. And she just is so good in it. I hope she gets something for this, because she's absolutely amazing. Where this story goes and how it wraps up, my jaw hit the floor in the theater, and I still am so shocked with how this plays out. What a brilliant sophomore effort from Zach Krieger. I can't wait to see what he does next. He is a brilliant filmmaker, a brilliant writer, and this movie blew me away. Number 3 for me is going to be Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, a movie I've watched 5 times. I think Guillermo del Toro just made a epic, beautiful, haunting movie. And everybody in it was so great. Jacob Elordi as the monster, as Frankenstein's monster, was so compelling. He's a fantastic actor, and he was so compelling as that character. Oscar Isaacs, I've appreciated since seeing him in The Force Awakens. The guy's amazing as Victor Frankenstein. Somebody you hate and you love at the same time, but he angers you, and then you feel sorry for him. I mean, it's just, that just shows what a great performer Mr. Isaacs is. Just absolutely incredible. And then Christoph Waltz, can't say enough great things about him. Mia Goth, who blew me away in it. She played 2 parts, and I didn't even realize until somebody else pointed it out to me that she played another part in it, that I was like, holy shit, that was her too? I mean, that's just how great everybody was in this film. And I love Guillermo del Toro so much. I think he's such a great auteur. He's an amazing storyteller, and uses so many great visuals and practical effects to tell his stories. Can't sing the praises of this film enough. I am so glad that it is going to be released on physical media, and I cannot wait to get it. It's supposed to have deleted scenes that are only going to be on the physical release, so can't wait for that to come out. I absolutely love Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. And now we are on to my top 2, and these have been my top 2 movies since April of this year. One of them came out in March and was released digitally or on streaming in late April. It actually came out, I believe, on the 22nd. It was released digitally. I didn't watch it until the 23rd, but both of these films, I watched both of these films the month that my late grandmother, my mama, passed away. She passed away on April 3rd, as I've mentioned in several videos on this channel. And both of these films were kind of like, in some way, a distraction from the grief I was going through, and in other ways it sort of made the grief that much more palpable. And one of them surprised the shit out of me. The other one I knew was going to be amazing when I saw, some of the trailers for it and things like that. But for right now, and like I said, these have swapped a couple times throughout the year, but right now, number 2 for me is Locked. And not a lot of people talk about it, and there's not a lot of people I've heard that have put it in their top 10 or even mentioned the film this year. And the fact that you have 3 horror icons associated with this film, the fact that this didn't get a wider distribution just shocks the shit out of me. And as we've seen with it, Welcome to Derry, Skarsgård is in heavy demand now because of his return as Pennywise. But this film really shows a different side to him. I love Anthony Hopkins so much. And for me, no one else can play Hannibal Lecter. He is just an amazing actor. I've loved him in so many things, not just The Silence of the Lamb and Hannibal and Red Dragon, but also in movies like The Edge. I love him in Meet Joe Black. There's so many great films that he's done. And the cat and mouse game between these two, which is primarily verbal because it's over the phone. I mean, you really don't see William until the 3rd act of the film. It's all, over the phone inside this car that he locks the Eddie character in. And just understanding where both men are coming from at this stage in their lives, and why William's doing what he's doing and why Eddie was trying to do what he was doing. It's just so amazingly executed, and the acting is so stellar. And there's moments in this film that harken back to the 1977 James Brolin film The Car, where this SUV is being automatically controlled by William, and he's running down homeless people with it. It's very, very scary. And there's even a moment where he tries to run down Eddie's daughter. And it's emotional, and it impacts you. And the desperation of both men and what the ultimate climax to the film is, I broke down. And it was coming, less than a week after my grandmother was buried. And I just remembered that final moment in the film before the credits, I started crying and I couldn't stop. And I was shocked that I was that emotional watching it. I hope that it might allow for people to be a little bit curious and checking it out now, that I'm putting it as my second favorite film of this year. Number 1 should be no surprise, and I will be surprised if this isn't at least in everybody's top 5, but that is Ryan Coogler's Sinners. That is my favorite film of this year. and one of the most amazing, haunting, beautifully told stories involving so many amazing elements and actors and music, and just everything about this film is absolutely perfect. And I'm so grateful that this cast and the filmmakers are getting the praise that they deserve. When we sat down to watch this film, and we went and saw it the day before Easter, so that was back on the 19th of April. I had no idea what I was in for. I love Ryan Coogler. He's from the Bay Area. It was poetry. And what I've said about movies that I love, that I've loved for so long, like Salem's Lot, where I said that every element in that miniseries, for me, works just absolutely beautifully. It all is one perfect symphony. And that is what Sinners is. And I hope that this movie receives every possible nomination, from Best Actor. I mean, Michael B. Jordan playing twin brothers, Smoke and Stack. If I didn't know that Michael B. Jordan didn't have a twin brother, I would think he did, with how distinctly he played both of those characters. It just was amazing. And again, a perfect symphony of amazingness, from the writing, the directing, the acting, the music, the visuals, the way that it was filmed. Everything about this film is perfect, and that is why it is my #1 film of 2025. So that is it, my fellow fiends. Thank you so much for watching my top 10 horror films of 2025, my final video of 2025. I send you all my best. I have some great things that I already have in the can for 2026. It might be a little quiet for a while as I get some of these things together, but know that I'm going to hit the ground running in this new year. And there will be more information about my book, My Life in the Lot, coming up very, very soon. And I just want to thank you all for supporting me, for supporting what I do here. Again, this is all done out of love, and I just am so grateful that I can share my love of the arts with all of you, and you continue to come back here and visit me. So thank you so much. Happy New Year to everyone, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always.